Poor girl sings "Shallow," the crowd goes silent in awe. The rain had soaked through her worn sneakers hours ago, but Emily barely noticed. She sat on the cold subway platform, clutching the battered guitar her late father had left her, its strings dull from years of overuse. The city roared above, but down here, it was all fluorescent lights, tiled walls, and the occasional echo of footsteps. She was 17, living in a shelter, and the closest thing to hope she had was the music she carried inside her. Most people passed without looking. To them, she was just another street kid with a dream that wouldn't pay rent. But Emily knew one thing: when she sang, she felt free. That night, she almost didn't play. Her throat ached from the cold, and her stomach growled from skipping lunch again. But something in her heart whispered, just one song. She set out her open guitar case, tuned as best she could, and began. Her voice was soft at first, almost fragile, as she strummed the intro to "Shallow." The few commuters waiting nearby didn't pay much attention. But when she hit the first high note, something shifted. A man in a business suit paused mid-step. A young woman with earbuds pulled one out. Emily's voice began to grow, rich, powerful, almost trembling with emotion. She wasn't just singing a song. She was singing her life, the loneliness, the longing, the fight to be heard in a world that often looked right past her. Her voice carried warmth and pain all at once, rising through the damp air like a prayer. By the second chorus, the platform had gone silent. People stood still, caught in the current of her voice. Even the grizzled subway guard stopped pacing to listen. And then, an unexpected sound broke the air. A man's voice, deep and resonant, joined hers from the crowd. Emily froze for a split second but kept playing, instinctively harmonizing with him. Their voices wove together. Hers delicate yet fierce, his strong yet tender. It was as if they had rehearsed their whole lives for this moment, though they had never met. When the final note lingered in the air, the station erupted in applause. Some clapped with tears in their eyes. A child tugged his mother's sleeve and whispered, "She sounds like the radio." Emily smiled shyly, bowing her head. She was about to pack up when the man who had sung with her stepped forward. He was older, maybe in his 40s, with a weathered face and kind eyes. "That," he said softly, "was the most beautiful thing I've heard in years." He handed her a folded bill, but as she reached for it, he stopped. "Actually, would you come with me for a moment? There's something I want to show you." Emily hesitated. Life on the streets had taught her to be cautious. But something about his steady gaze felt safe. The small crowd, still murmuring in awe, watched as she followed him upstairs and out into the night. They stopped in front of a modest music cafe just around the corner. Through the windows, a small stage glowed under warm lights. "This is my place," the man said. "We host live music every week. I think you belong on that stage." Her heart raced. I'm not really." "You are," he interrupted gently. "You just don't know it yet." Within an hour, Emily found herself under the soft stage lights, guitar in hand, the room filled with strangers sipping coffee. She sang "Shallow" again, but this time, she didn't feel invisible. Every note was met with eyes locked on her, every lyric wrapped the room in silence. By the end, people were on their feet, clapping, cheering, some wiping tears. That night, she earned more tips than she had made in the last 3 weeks combined. But more than that, she earned something far greater, a chance. The cafe owner, whose name was Mark, offered her a standing gig. "You've got a gift, Emily," he said, pressing a warm hand on her shoulder. "Let's make sure the world hears it." Months passed, and Emily's life transformed. She moved from the shelter into a small apartment above the cafe. She sang to packed rooms every weekend. Word spread, and soon, videos of her subway performance and cafe shows began circulating online. Messages from strangers poured in, people saying her voice had given them hope during hard times. One evening, before going on stage, Emily found Mark in the back room. "Why did you help me that night?" she asked quietly. Mark smiled. "Years ago, I was a struggling musician too. A stranger gave me a stage when I had nothing. I promised myself I'd pass it on when I found someone who deserved it. And Emily, you more than deserve it." That night's performance was her best yet. As she sang, she looked out at the crowd, faces young and old, rich and poor, all joined by the same stillness she had first felt in that subway station. Emily realized then that music wasn't just about notes or applause. It was about connection, about reaching people's hearts and reminding them of their own humanity. She had been given a second chance because someone believed in her. Now, she would spend her life doing the same for others. And somewhere, deep inside, she knew her father would have been proud.